What's going on, guys? Welcome back to hashtag GSM4GM Season 4, Episode 13 here today in Lincoln, Nebraska, and WWE 2K25 MyGM Mode. I'm Graham GSM Matthews. Hope you guys are doing well. We are quickly approaching the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. But before then, a pretty stacked show on tap tonight. Gunta taking on the departing Tyler Bate. This is his final week here at SmackDown. He has never won at SmackDown before, at least during his most recent run on the brand. Ilya Dragunov getting involved. Can he see that Bate wins his final match, his final farewell here on Friday nights? Say that 10 times fast. Against the reigning United States champion, Gunther. Seth Rollins will call out Finn Balor after Balor kind of just looked on as Rollins got beat in last week's number one contenders triple threat match. He will call out Balor for a match one-on-one next week here on SmackDown. Charlotte will allow Liv Morgan to choose the stipulation for next week's blow-off match between the two. Roman Reigns, regular advertising promo, nothing special there. AJ Styles goes one-on-one with Javon Evans. Jey Uso takes on the man that he did not pin in last week's triple threat number one contenders match, that being Finn Balor. And Jimmy Uso will get involved, per the orders of the tribal chief Roman Reigns. And then in the main event, Becky Lynch and Naomi teaming up before they clash next week for the WWE Women's Championship in the main event of SmackDown to take on Tegan Nox in SmackDown's newest acquisition, Chelsea Green. So let's look at the power cards real quick. We did on last week's episode buy the concert hall, so we will have a slight upgrade in arena, which is nice. I think that's all, though. I might use Chill Out on Raw next week, on the week before the pay-per-view, so it affects them on the pay-per-view, just to be an asshole. But they've, tried to fuck us over a number of times, so why the fuck not, Anyway, to the moon. Yeah, Ilya's still at 59 points popularity. We're not using this on Bate because he's leaving. And Chelsea maybe, but she might not be long for SmackDown either. So really, I might use it on Dragunov or Javon Evans. If Dragunov loses the United States Championship match, then I might have to use it on him. I might use it on him anyway, to be honest. I won't use it on him this week, because I feel like if I use it on him, then he'll go up to, 75, and then go up even higher? You know what, fuck it, I'll probably use it on him now. Javon Evans I like, but I feel like Dragunov's a higher priority. We'll use it on Dragunov. We'll increase after their next match, by 15 after their next match. That's not tonight. So they're not wrestling tonight. We won't use it on him tonight. I mean, it will probably work regardless, but I won't, risk anything. So anyway, we'll get into it here. Confirm booking. We are in Lincoln, Nebraska, as I mentioned. We are watching the tag team main event. All right, we'll simulate Gunta and Tyler Bate. Bate's final match here on SmackDown. He picks up the win in his last match here on SmackDown. He upsets the United States champion with an assist from Ilya Dragunov. That's fucking cool. Tyler Bate finally wins, and it just so happens to be his final match on SmackDown. Maybe we can revisit that down the road if we re-sign Tyler Bate. I don't know. Rollins calls out Balor. We're simulating this match as well. AJ Styles and Javon Evans. AJ Styles with the win. Javon Evans just doing a lot of losing lately. Big win for AJ Styles tonight after losing to Gunther and Ilya Dragunov in recent weeks. Good promo from Charlotte, allowing Liv to choose the stipulation for next week. Jey Uso and Finn Balor. Jey Uso retaining the contendership. We could say in retrospect, it was his number one contendership was on the line. And that allowed him to pick up the win. Jimmy Uso attacks afterward. And we will get Jay and Jimmy at some point, but not before we get Jay and CM Punk at the pay-per-view. Maybe we do Jay and Jimmy next week here on SmackDown. I was thinking that when I was planning on doing Jay and Roman for the pay-per-view, but I might end up doing Jay and Jimmy anyway, because CM Punk's not available right now. But probably not. I'll probably just have Jay call out Punk next week on SmackDown. All right, so Roman popularity down 2. Don't want to do a lot of these advertising promos, because if it affects their popularity, that's not good. And we're watching this match. Becky and Naomi versus Tegan Nox and Chelsea Green. It's a preview of next week's WWE Women's Championship main event. Hopefully this match doesn't take too long. Sometimes the tag team matches take a while. But at the very least, we can watch the match in our upgraded arena at the concert hall, which we obviously had previously when we did 2K24 and 2K23 MyGM Mode before I upgraded the arena then. But we'll be in a concert hall, which is better than the high school gym. All right. Bit better of a venue. Not bad. With a fucking disco ball for Pretty Deadly. We had Kit Wilson on SmackDown a few years ago. He was like the kind of lucky loser on SmackDown. Won a handful of matches and didn't re-sign him. I think we traded him back to Raw or whatever after that. So Chelsea's music. All right, here we go.
And we are locked and loaded for this.
Becky and Tegan kicking this thing off. So much history between these two women that I've talked about ad nauseum before, but they have a record of 3-2. Becky having won 3, Tegan having won the first 2 matches they ever had, clean both times on SmackDown, and then later on at SummerSlam. I think they would have been back at SummerSlam. I want to say 2004. It was a long time ago. And it was a long time before Becky finally avenged that loss to Tegan. I think it was WrestleMania 2004, WrestleMania 2005, I want to say. Because she won her current WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania 2005. So yeah, because she retained it at WrestleMania this past year against Rhea Ripley. That would have been WrestleMania 2006. And she's been champion for well over 1 year, a year and a half almost. The longest reign that we've ever had of any kind here in GM mode in any of the games.
Tegan's aggression starting to ratchet up.
She has knocked off Tegan Nox. She's knocked off Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez.
Really trying to do everything
Bayley she beat to win the championship back at WrestleMania 2005 in an Iron Man match. She has beaten a ton of women to retain that title. It was Tegan who really kind of knocked her off her path in the first place.
Getting tagged in.
Really messed with her confidence a number of years back, and Becky had to battle back and overcome that obstacle before she could become champion again. A title that she has actually never been beaten for. She won it from Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, retained it against Bianca back at WrestleMania 2002, I want to say. And then she was gone from SmackDown for all of 2003 and returned looking back for her belt. And she finally has it back in her possession. So she was never actually beaten for the belt the first time. She has not been beaten for the belt since then either. And Naomi might be that person to do the job next week here on SmackDown in the main event. Chelsea getting out of whatever Becky was going for there. And speaking of Naomi, this is her first time ever on the SmackDown brand this past year. She earned this opportunity by winning that brand supremacy match back at SummerSlam. That was not supposed to be a #1 contenders match, but I thought she would be most deserving of a shot after winning that match at SummerSlam. She has also knocked off Tegan Nox a number of times. They've had a handful of matches. And now they're teaming up on the same page as they take down Chelsea Green, who battled Charlotte Flair in an in-ring debut here on SmackDown 2 weeks back. She's looking for her first win here on SmackDown, and what a way to make a statement. And by beating either the challenger or the champion herself in this tag team matchup.
Great flexibility.
Looking back in my notes to make sure, I think Naomi did indeed beat Tegan. She did, back in week 2 of our show. Tegan beat her a couple of weeks later, coming out of Clash of the Castle. And she also beat her just recently on SmackDown a few weeks back. And that was really to just do Becky and Tegan one more time, where if Tegan could beat Becky in their rubber match in their basically best-of-5 series, then she can earn entry into the title match. But Becky beat her decisively last week, so no need. Chelsea looking to send the message that she is wanting in on the championship conversation. And now talking about teamwork, her and Tegan Nox taking out Becky Lynch as a cohesive unit here. Oh, nice jawbreaker there from Becky Lynch. Throws Tegan into the ropes and lays her out with an arm drag. Just great chemistry between those two. We watched their WWE Women's Championship clash at SummerSlam a few weeks back, and they worked so well together. Nice forearm smash there from Becky. And now she goes to the top rope. Beautiful leg drop on a Tegan Nox for the immediate cover. And a kick out of 2 from Tegan Nox. Chelsea Green was getting into the ring, you could see on the right side of the screen, but not quick enough, clearly. And a manhandle slam from Becky Lynch. 2, 3. Tegan Nox, or Chelsea, not even bothering to get involved. That's not going to sit well with Tegan Nox. A quick and decisive win here tonight in this very unique venue for Becky Lynch and Naomi as they head into next week's WWE Women's Championship clash on the same page. How long will that last is the question. Will Naomi be the one to beat the undefeated, the unbeatable Becky Lynch for that championship that she is essentially held hostage for over a year now? I say held hostage, but she's been a babyface this whole time. Big win for those two nonetheless. An okay match, apparently. I mean, it was only fucking mere minutes, so it wasn't really much of a match. Maybe we could do Tegan and Chelsea next week. I know they're both heels, but, you know, Tegan might be pissed that Chelsea kind of fucking fucked her over, so I don't know. That would be a logical match to do. We don't give a fuck about Raw, so we're going to simulate this show. Decent ratings. I mean, a little bit better than Raw in some cases. Better than Raw in the first match, second match, third match, no, and the fourth match, no. So I would say an even week. We made $80,000. Holy shit. It's good to have that money in the bank for when the contracts come due, like I said. They have the clear advantage in terms of fans. Still no trophies for either of us, but they have about 22,000 fans on us. Nashville, Tennessee tonight. It's the go-home show. Fuck you. Are you? Well, that's fine. We can't use Gunther, but that's okay. Because we weren't going to use Gunther tonight anyway. Bad advertising? You, what the fuck? Must use a tier 1 advertising logistic? Well, that's fine. Hey, something comes up and I can't have Gunther taking part in your show this week. Sorry about that. That's fine. We were just going to have him call out Ilya, so Ilya will just have to call out him. That's fine. What happened to my big moment? Turning him, well, major decreased his morale. Well, whatever, Gunther. Sorry. We could turn your babyface down the road. That was only if I thought Jey Uso, or rather AJ, would become #1 contender, and he didn't. So, sorry. Jay said the shows have been doing great, William, but I think it's time we had a show in a bigger venue. I don't mean to tell you what to do, but I think it'll help showcase our talented roster a bit, and that includes me. Well, I'm not going to fucking buy a new arena in the next 2 weeks. I don't think we're ready for that right now. Sorry, Jay. Small decrease. Sorry about that. I guess one day we'll get to perform for more of our fans. Yeah, one day. But we just upgraded, like, this week. Calm down, Jay. Not yet. Anyway, let's do Becky and Tegan. Becky and Naomi, rather, for the WWE Women's Championship. We got that going on. We are doing, let's do Seth and Finn. I was going to do that second to main, but we'll do it here in the middle. We're only watching the main event, by the way. We can do Charlotte and Liv Morgan. Let's look at the Stipperooskies. Tables, no. Falls can anywhere. I don't really know if I like. Underground for these two, not really. I like the idea of a submission match, like an I Quit match. Which Liv has lost before and had to leave SmackDown years ago, and I don't really want to do that now. I would like her to win, but I'm not going to play the match to ensure that. Steel Cage we've done recently. Ambulance I like. We might have to do an ambulance match. Casket, no. Backstage brawls, I kind of do that more as a segment. I think I like ambulance. I think we could do an ambulance match. And then we could just keep the loser off the show for a few weeks. So honestly, fuck it. Let's do it. Their feud's at an all-time high anyway, so why not? I like that. Let's have... Like I said, we might do Tegan tonight. Let's have Ilya call out Gunther. I already mentioned that. They're having their match at the pay-per-view. Let's... Calling out... Let's see, where's Gunther? Boom. We'll have Jay. call out Punk. All right. Perfect. Tegan Nox. Who's left? Roman's free. Do a self promo for, or let's do a charity promo for Roman. I don't want to take. I don't honestly. I don't. Fuck the charity stuff. That was just to get a fucking trophy, but I don't want to lose money on that. So just do a regular promo for him. He's been doing a lot of promos recently, but that is what it is. We can run back Jimmy and Javon this week. We can just give AJ a regular promo. All right. We could do Tegan. Yeah, okay, this actually works out perfectly. We can actually fill out the full show. Tegan and Chelsea, which I already mentioned, makes sense. I like that. We're going to have 3 women's matches tonight, which is awesome, actually. First time ever here on SmackDown. At least, as far as this show goes. At least since we started, since Mania and 2K25 with the expanded roster and with the expanded match slots. And then Jimmy and Javon Evans running it back. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, cool. So here's our show. Charlotte and Liv will open up next week's go-home show in an ambulance match. Ilya Dragunov will call out Gunther for their United States Championship match at the pay-per-view. Roman Reigns promo, AJ Styles promo. Jey Uso will call out CM Punk. He will address Punk before they battle for the WWE Championship at Hell in the Cell. Tegan Nox will take on Chelsea Green after Chelsea Green kind of left her hanging high and dry in last week's tag team match. They will settle their score in tonight's one-off match. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Balor wants to bring back the darker version of Rollins, and Rollins wants to bounce back with a win here. So they will go one-on-one here tonight. Jimmy Uso will battle Javon Evans in a rematch from a few weeks back. Javon Evans looking for retribution. And then in the main event that we will be watching on next week's show, Becky Lynch and Naomi collide for the WWE Women's Championship. Looking forward to that one as well. At any rate, folks, thanks for tuning in. As always, have an awesome one. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe. Hit the bell button to be notified every single time we go live and every single time we upload new content. Until next time, folks, I'm Graham Giason Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.